I'm Stampin' Up. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and I go live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time to share with you some of the things that I've been working on and some of my upcoming classes and Stampin' Up specials and the like. So today I am here to share with you one of my favorite new bundles in the January through April new mini catalog, and that it just launched last week, and I'm excited to be able to share with you a lot of the pieces that are in that bundle and the rest of that suite. So we're going to go ahead and make a collage card today. So I'm going to flip over to my desktop, and here we go. Show you what we're going to make. So look at this. This is the card we're going to make today. And I love collage cards, and this is a super easy collage card, as a matter of fact. So the reason it's so easy is because of the stamp set. So this is a stamp set. It's actually a bundle. This is called Notes of Nature, as you can see, and it has lots of little elements that can be used to create that background that makes for the collage. And also a couple of nice sayings there, some leaves, and there are a bunch of dies. And here are some of them. We're going to use a bunch of others, but this is very cool. This is like a perforation in the middle that you can add, and it also makes holes, kind of like a notebook. Not using that today, but I'm sure we will in upcoming classes. And look at this fun vine. You get all these leaves all at once. You can use them as one long strip, or you could break them apart, just snip them apart. These are outlines for the flower, some of the flowers that are here, and some little filler. And then I have a few others that we're going to actually use in the making of the card. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to take off my sweater, only because even though it's cold, it's kind of a puffy sweater, so I need to move around. So here we go. So I have all my supplies over here. Let's see how many things I forgot today, right? That's just how I roll. But anyway, let's take our piece of pecan pie, or is it pecan? Pecan pie cardstock. I love this new brown, this new nice neutral. It's kind of like soft suede, but it's warmer. I just found soft suede to have a little tinge of something unpleasant, if you would say. Anyway, it just didn't give me that warm fuzzy feeling, but this color does. So I love using this. And I've got two pieces of basic white cardstock. I'm going to take one and put it on the inside, and I'm going to take one and put it on the outside, because we're actually going to use that kind of as a background layer. And I saw this card, or one very similar, online, and this is what they did, and I liked that concept, just to give a little bit of background for the actual collage that we're going to create. So let's go ahead, and I'm just using Stampin' Seal. Don't use a ton of it. 2 long stripes, nice and strong. And there's our card base. And I'm going to go ahead and put that aside so it doesn't get dirty. But I like to have that done up front. Then we're going to take a smaller piece of basic white cardstock, and I did write down the dimensions, but I don't remember what they were. So this is, let's say, 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. And that's going to fit nicely on kind of the center of the card. Maybe not quite exactly center, but close enough. And we're going to start stamping on here. So I'm going to take my Pecan Pie ink pad, and I'm going to take a few stamps. I'm going to start in the top left corner, and I'm going to take this fun Field Notes. Now this is a red rubber stamp, meaning in the catalog it's called clear mount, because you mount it on a clear block, so it's not see-through, but that's okay. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm just going to place this right in the corner, and I have a little trouble getting it straight. Gonna have to add my glasses. I took off my sweater, and now I need to put on the glasses, but now we're ready. Okay, so here we have our Field Notes. I probably would have done it a little closer to the edge. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Why am I saying I could have? I can. Why not? Paper has 2 sides, which is just a lovely thing. Part of the problem is I can't get my head right over it because the camera is there, but that's okay. But see, that's a little bit better. All right, so we've got that on there, and then I'm going to take this stamp. I love this ledger kind of line stamp, and it's just great for a background. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the bottom corner, the bottom right. And then all I'm going to do is fill in using these speckles. Now, when you use the speckles, you can use them in obviously any color. You can move them around. You don't have to do them all in the same direction, but you can't really tell if you did anyway. And notice I'm not really overlapping, but I could be of the other images, but I really want them to stand out a little bit. I need a little bit more right here because I do want to cover the whole thing, and you can see that a little bit of overlap is okay. So that's our background paper, and I just think that I just love this particular look, and I again call it collage because it's taking a bunch of stamps and putting them down all over the place. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and put this on the front of our card. But what I've done is I have taken, this is from the the Nature's Sweetness collection of designer series paper. And you can see it's gold and it has some script writing. I don't know what it says. It is English. It says each year with such time of the tree. I'm not sure exactly what it says. But anyway, it's pretty and it makes for a nice background. And the background of this is actually Pebbled Path. The card I saw originally was designed using Pebbled Path, which is a gray neutral, and one of our in colors for this year, but I went ahead and made my base, I did the rest of it around the Pecan Pie. So the way that I'm going to add these to the card, you see how I have them? They're just tucked in behind the collage page. So let me bring that down. The goal is to try to get straight. I didn't get it straight on my sample. That's okay. We'll try to get it straight this time. And I'm just going to add, I don't need a whole lot for this, but I'm just putting some adhesive at the top and at the bottom. You can see that it's just regular adhesive at the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to hold it up and add it. It doesn't go end to end, but it goes most of the way. So there's one. And then I'm going to add this to the bottom. Now you want to be careful of, I could lay it down on my scratch paper, but I don't want to do that because it does, the adhesive is not complete, but I think that looks pretty good. This might, I can't really tell. Might be off a little bit, but now that you can see that I've done that, and I'm going to add it to my card front. And I'm not using any dimensionals or anything. I'm just going to go ahead and place it right down. And you can see this now is a nice inset onto the background piece of white that we had. So it's as simple as that. That's the background. And then we're going to work on some of the detail. Now, the first thing we'll do is we're going to take our leaf stamp and we're going to stamp it onto some scrap paper. And I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I'm going to be coloring this in with our alcohol markers. And I'm only using the Old Olive alcohol markers. So I've gone ahead and I have stamped them twice, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut them out, but through the magic of television, let me show you. This is the die that cuts it out. You can see that it goes on there nice and easily, and you might want to pin it down just with a piece of washi tape or a post-it note, just so that it stays in place when you put it through the machine, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And there we have here's one of our flowers. So let me just show you the way that I colored it in. These are our Stampin' Blends in Old Olive, and we have Stampin' Blends come in the dark and the light colors. I'm going to use the dark color first, and I'm going to use the bullet tip end. And I'm just going to trace over most of the inside lines, veins, if you will, on the leaves. And this is, you're going to see the dimension that this adds by doing this. So looks a little sloppy now. I get it. not necessarily the most accurate. And this bullet tip, even though it's pointed and it's narrow, it's n- it's not like a fine tip. Okay, so it is hard to get it exactly right, but that's okay because we're going to blend this color in to the light shade of this old olive duo. And so you see, I'm not taking a whole lot of time to make sure that it's exactly accurate, but you can see I've covered most of the inside lines. And now I'm going to take the brush tip of our Stampin' Blend, and I oftentimes don't use the brush tip because it's hard to get it precise, but I'm not looking for precise now. You notice that I'm using the side of the marker. I'm not using the point. I don't want to use the point, and I'm not pressing at all. I'm barely touching the paper. The reason for this is I don't want to destroy my markers. So I'm going to be making this card in class on Friday and Saturday, and I caution everyone coming to class to please use a light touch because um, oftentimes my markers get ruined by people who are heavy-handed with the markers. But you can see that by using a light touch, I'm pulling the color just the littlest bit from the darker, and as it dries, you'll see it is dry pretty much immediately, but look how that's blended in, but yet gives it a little bit of dimension. Okay, so I actually had done the other one previously, and you can see how they both look now. And then I went ahead also and die cut out two of the different flowers that the dies have. I love these because they're standalone. You don't need to stamp to make them come out. So you're just going to use, I'm going to use some of the Pecan Pie to cut out these. And we need two for each card. Just like we had the two leaves, we have two for each card. And these are the pieces that I'm just going to run over to my machine and cut them out and do it again to get my leaves. But again, through the magic of television, I have those. I had them because they have fallen on the floor. See, always something here, always something. So let's see what happened to them. Did they disappear? Did they land here? All right, I'm going to go over and actually cut these out, even though as soon as we hang up from the call, I will find them. So give me a second, and I'm just going over to my machine because if I do this on my table, it won't come out. Now, where's that? That did fall on the floor. So yes, I know I'm not there, but I'm right here, and I'm going to, I'll just cut one of each, but the card actually needs two of each. You're so well prepared in advance that, yep, I got stuck to my sweater sleeves. Oh my gosh, I'm knocking everything over here. Okay, so back to a regularly scheduled program. You can see that I've die cut these out, and they are a little fragile, so you just have to be careful pulling them out. Look how pretty these are, though. And then this is our green one. When you put it through the machine, because they are so fine, I suggest going back and forth, and that way they will come out much more easily. If they stick to the die, that's okay. It has all the little holes on the back, and you can just poke through with take your pick tool, with the pointy tool, and it'll come right out. So pretend I have two of each of these, and yep, I'll find them as soon as we hang up. I am sure. So here we have our pieces, and then the last thing is to put a sentiment on our card. And so I used this die. This is from Stylish Shapes. Dawn says she usually finds them stuck to her shirts or pants, and yep, that's probably where it's going to be. But I'm going to die cut this out of this thin strip. But I went ahead and did that in advance. See, I really did prepare. I did this all in advance. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to take that pecan pie again, and I am going to stamp one of the beautiful images, which is "Today is all about you. Happy birthday." Love that, and I love the way that it fits right in here. Now, of course, you could have stamped it first and then cut it out. For a lot of times, I just do it this way. It's just a little bit easier to get all the die cutting done at once, so I don't have to go back and forth. So we're going to go ahead and put this on the card using dimensionals. And yes, I'm doing this first because, like we do on so many other cards lately, is we want our sentiment to be on there. I'm going to put mine down a little further this time. I don't know why. And then I'm going to just use my liquid glue and attach these. And all I have to do is put a little glue on the back and slide it in. So I'm going to start with my biggest ones. And I'm just going to put my glue on. Doesn't take a lot. Slide it in. And there's one. And you know, we have entire stamp sets that are designed to do exactly this, you know, meaning it comes with all little flowers and such that go right, oops, right behind our sentiment label. But here, I'm going to just put these two on a diagonal. And again, normally I would have two. So if you're coming to class, you need two of each of these, the green and the pecan pie, the old olive and pecan pie, but we're going to put these down. And it can go any which way you want, right? There's no rhyme or reason to any of these. I just love the delicacy of the dies and how they look just coming out behind our sentiment. And what's really nice is it does not take a whole lot of effort to get all this ready to go. So, oops, there we go. All right, so we've got some leaves behind there, and our last final touch is another product that's in it's called the Nature's Sweetness Suite, and that's where the Notes of Nature bundle is located. And there's another stamp set that's in there as well, and the designer series paper from which we took these little strips, but there are lots of others. But these are little cork adhesive backed cork rounds, and they're just really different from anything we've had before. It's just another little embellishment, and all you do is the same way you do any others. You just take them off using take your pick tool with the putty end, or you could use your fingernail, or however you like to do it. But there are two sizes, and I'm going to use, I always use three, so I'm going to use two of the small ones and one of the big ones, or two big ones and one small one. Since we have the multiple sizes, we may as well. And that is our card. I'm going to take back my sample so that you can see the way it's supposed to look with all of the different embellishments. So that is today's card, and I just love the fact that we could look at and use some of the brand new products that are available in the mini catalog. And again, this one is called Notes of Nature, and it's just really fun to work with. You'll find lots of samples. I'm going to hold it up. Lots of samples online using this stamp set. And if you look up Collage, if you do Stampin' Collage, you'll find lots of samples of cards that are made using that collage technique. So let's see. As for anything else going on, I do want to mention that if you are a Paper Pumpkin fan, the best time to sign up for Paper Pumpkin is during Celebration. You can prepay subscriptions, and on each of the 3, 6, and 12-month subscriptions, you save money if you buy them in advance. And let's see, if you do the 3-month 3-month subscription, you also get a free celebration set. And if you buy a 6-month subscription, you get 2 celebration sets or papers or whatever. Or if you buy the 12-month, which is what I do, because I know I'm going to want the kit every month anyway, I pre-buy them, I pre-purchase them during celebration, and I get 4 kits, plus you get hostess dollars. So it's definitely the best time to subscribe, especially if you know that you're going to be wanting them anyway, to get those kits every month. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. But just so that you know, you have to sign up by the 10th of each month to get that month's kit. Otherwise, you get the next month's. Today is the 10th. So like me, you could go in today and sign up for Paper Pumpkin and get that added to your Paper Pumpkin account, and you'll get the January kit with no additional charges. So if you have any questions on it, check out my blog, give me a call, or email me, DM me, whatever makes sense. I'd be happy to answer your questions. So anyway, I think that's it for today. I'll be back next week with another new product, and we'll see you then. Thanks so much. Bye now.